Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, February 24th, 2018. It is Season 12, Episode 7. I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
That is it. That is all we got here today. Just me and RJ. Just a face-to-face chat, back and forth. We're going to talk about the world today and things that are going on, and we'd like your input. I don't know where I'm going with this. Give us a call, 334.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I know. 334-272-9228. Go to ingamechat.net for the links to get in touch with us. All the links are right there. Just ingamechat.net is the perfect place for you to go to get any of that information. It's all right there. I should add our Discord on there. I should add all of the other things, which I haven't done. You never know what's going to be permanent in the whole social space of things.
Right. It's true.
Because not that Google Plus or whatever was ever coming up to be a thing, but it was there, and I made one anyway. So I mean, we've got one of those. But yeah, I should put Discord up there. You can find us on Twitter at In-Game Chat. You can also find us on Facebook that way. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. Nobody does, but you should email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We are streaming right now through Twitch, twitch.tv. Go there, type in-game chat. You'll be able to find us, and you can join us live while we broadcast. And you can join the chat room live while we broadcast as well. Got AC Wraith, Drunk Degenerates in there. Multile is hanging out. There may be others. I haven't looked at the room roster yet to see who else is in there, but they're currently chatting away. And we're in there, too, to chat with you also while we're doing the show. Given that it's just me and RJ here, the conversation, we might miss some of the conversation. We might not participate in some of the conversation. We'll try and do our best as we go along. Matt not with us this weekend. I think he will be with us next weekend. I think, sure. Or will it be? I think next weekend he's going to be showing up like right as we start the show. I think
probably
for next weekend.
Yeah.
So,
but he's got some function with the 501st.
Yeah, something like that. I have no idea what he had this week. He just sent us a message saying, "Hey, you can't make it this week." So yeah. But anyway, welcome to the show. Let me get this out of the way real quick. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do it again, just so I have plenty of
claps.
Just, ways for me to sync everything up. Mm-hmm. It's weird because, when I do this at home, when I go back and I do the edit through the video, I try and match up the audio part where that clap comes in on the video. Except when it plays back the video, it runs smooth for about 3 seconds, and then it might do a hiccup for one, and then run smooth again for. It's not as, and so sometimes it doesn't catch that. It doesn't catch this. It's like skips it a little bit or something like that. Mm-hmm. Audio's still there, but the video part, and so I just throw in a bunch and just match them all up, and it's no problem there. As you can see, episode 7, episode 505. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. I did not play a single game at all this past week. I really did do nothing. I kind of got, I was on the verge of getting sick come Monday, and was really cautious about what I did Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and was able to finally knock that out. It felt like it was coming, but I was able to hold it at bay. I still feel like it might be a little. I still feel like if I'm not careful, I'll still succumb to it. So,
Did you start getting doped up as soon as you felt it?
well, yes, in a way, yeah. I just started like, okay, let's start taking some pills. Let's start getting some rest. Let's not start a session of Civ 6.
I mean, it's like hot toddies or Theraflu or something along
Right?
those
Yeah,
lines.
yeah. The Theraflu. I didn't have the Theraflu heat up stuff. I had bought this was back when I had gotten sick before. I think I was stockpiling for the next time, and instead of going with the Theraflu that you mixed in with the drink and stuff, I just got the liquid Theraflu. That's kind of like NyQuil type stuff. You just drink it, and so I took some of that, but. No, I should be all right. I should be okay. But I have not played a single thing. I did play a little bit of Bomberman on the Switch this afternoon before you came. Because I brought my Switch in because a game that I had ordered that I had forgotten that I ordered finally showed up. I don't know if you saw our Twitter account where I posted it, but...
It's been...
What?
I think I go on Twitter like I do Steam, like barely.
Well, either way, I posted it. This finally showed up.
Another special edition.
Yes.
Okay.
I had to buy it from the UK. And I'd forgotten that I had bought it from the UK.
Oh, yeah. So what comes with that one?
I'll give you one guess.
Statues, figurines.
Keep going. I mean, yeah, you're on the right path. Tchotchkes, trinkets. Come on, man.
Scarborough Fair.
No, come on, man.
Soundtrack.
No, come on, man. You're close.
Cloth map. What?
Oh, you're so close. Steelbook.
I forgot who I was talking to for a
Yeah,
second. Yes.
it's a Steelbook. Anyway, here I'll
My
let
apologies,
you.
folks.
I'll let you take a look at this thing. I've already looked through this thing, so I'll let you enjoy the unboxing of that, and you can show it off if you want to. I realize, it comes with the. Is my phone ringing? Yeah, I'm not going to answer that. Whoever you are, I don't know your number. I don't know who that is.
Let's put that in the camera for everybody to see.
I was about to put out the number, I'd be like, I don't know who you are. Why are you calling me? Yeah, goodbye. So anyway, it comes with. Obviously, it comes with Bayonetta 2 for the Switch.
Right.
It comes with a download code for the first Bayonetta. And then it comes with a Steelbook. It comes with stickers. Yay, stickers.
Yeah, for your laptop.
I guess.
Yeah, I think they're doing that with all. Didn't they do that with all the Bayonetta 2s? They had a code or something for the original in there with it?
Yes.
Or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to do that with all of them.
What they didn't do with all of them, though, is make a special edition where you got a Steelbook. And then it comes with verse cards.
Verse cards. Okay, verse.
I don't know what verse cards are. These little gold things.
Probably images of the enemies or something like that.
I'm not sure.
I always associated verses with stages or things like that.
Yeah.
There's Bayonetta's current look on the front and the classic look on the back.
Yeah, it's got the cover for one on the back, and it's got the cover one. If you open up the box that the game comes in, the outside version of the box printing is Bayonetta 2, but the inside version is Bayonetta 1.
Oh, yeah. I see
so you
that
can
now, yeah.
switch them out, and you can make them whatever you want to make them. So how much was the... I'm sorry. Moltal says, how much was the shipping? I don't remember, man. I bought it... I can check real quick, because I bought it through Amazon. Amazon UK.
15, 20.
I don't know. We'll see. Let me look. I'm curious myself now what that must have cost. Let's see your orders. Waiting for it to sign me in here so I can say it's fantastic radio. I know, folks. It's wonderful that you're about to hear what I paid for shipping.
Must be a card pack or something. Yeah, it feels pretty solid in here.
Oh yeah.
Deck of cards that came
It's the verse cards.
Yeah, verse cards.
Yeah.
Let's see that for a second. What the verse cards
There you
probably
go.
are. Thank you, sir.
You can pop that open
Let's
if you
see.
want to. Take a look at it. Let's see here.
Looks like images and icons of the logos for the different enemies that you face. They usually had something like that from what I played in the original game.
The total cost of this was £65, and the shipping was £6. But it was the shipping was about $9, $10. Was how much the shipping on that costs. The total price of that one looks like it was about, what, $90? Is that what that is? Yeah, $90. $90 for that version. Now, if I go to eBay, which is where I thought I was going to have to go because I'd forgotten that I had ordered this. Bayonetta. Oops. 2 Switch special edition. Not special editing, special edition. Wow. Okay, that one is $130. You can buy it now for $130. There's one right now for $152. $124, $140. Looks like we're around $150 to $200 for resale value on that on eBay.
Cards are pretty reflective. I think it has a reflective side on one side and the.
I don't even know.
The other.
Yeah. Did you pop them open? Did you take
pop them open, but I'm not taking them out the plastic.
You can take them out of the plastic wrapper, just don't take them out of the plastic binder. They have like a tape or something wrapped around the cards.
Yeah. I'm going to leave that alone. Let you do that. But yeah, looks like a reflective surface, kind of like Pokemon cards back in the day. Had that nice reflective.
I never touched Pokemon cards. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. They're basically something collectible, really.
Yeah. Yeah, Drunk to Dinner. I hope I do too. He says, I hope you get around to some more gaming next week, and I hope I do too.
Just like it was.
Yeah. So I haven't played anything. What have you? Have you played anything, RJ?
Street Fighter V had released a new character for Season 3, Blanca, of a legend. Anybody who plays Street Fighter knows exactly who that is. A lot of people are getting a kick out of his story mode outfit, which is basically him in a little plushy version of himself. They call it Blanca-chan. And if you pretty much want to troll somebody online, you just get that outfit and mess with people all day. So you do that. He has pretty good V triggers that can really boost his offense. He's focused on misdirection and he basically has electrical attacks.
Yeah,
that really messes folks up. And he has a lot of juggles. Reminds me of John Talbane from Darkstalkers back in the day. A lot of midair strikes. He can change direction whenever he wants to and keep combos going as long as he wants or until the meter runs out. Things like that. It looks pretty fun to play right now. And with tournaments coming up, as usual, people are going to try to learn the matchups all over again, get what they want with that. And I've been doing the same as well.
Yeah.
Played no Destiny at all. This is the first time in
nice?
Months.
Wasn't it nice?
Yeah, it was. It really was. Playing no Destiny for an entire week. It was good. It was a good feeling.
I know. It feels good to kind of to be free of the monkey off your back, right?
Yeah, it was. It just only thing it did was just check what was in Tess's store, see what was in there, and find I want nothing. Nope, log out.
Yeah,
done. For the day.
I have lost all interest in playing Destiny on both systems. I mean, I like I said, I may come back to it whenever the DLC releases. I believe in May or something like that. But yeah, who knows?
That's maybe a minute for that. Other than that,
Monster Hunter
World. I was playing that. Still trying to get used to everything like that. The control schemes and things like that. Item loadouts, equipment loadouts. I'm just now finding out about that. Like I said, this game needs a manual. It needs a manual.
No.
All the stuff is being...
discover it for yourself, sir.
Yeah, that's why
Be an explorer and discover how to play the game.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out the radial menu, finding out what items I use the most. I got a ton of items, but I only use like maybe 4 or 5 at the most right now. So that's all I'm really doing right now. Right now in the story mode, I've gotten past Anjanath.
I don't know who that is.
The fire-breathing T-Rex.
Okay.
That one. And the first battle with the beast that wrecked your ship. And the first thing is story
the big
mode.
mountain beast?
The big mountain beast.
Yeah, okay.
So we got to the first battle of that, and spoiler alert, we fail. The first time meeting him. So now I'm going into the Great Chasm or Great Ravine, I think that area. We got to do an expedition in that area. That's where I'm at in the story mode right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that failure when he broke through the barriers, and now it's going on to this other area.
Right. You fought the thing on its back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you fought the big horned demon thing on its back.
Yeah, that I forget the name, starts to the end.
I don't know.
Negrigante or something like that. But yeah, it interfered basically and kept you from hitting the magma spores on his back.
Right.
You
Yeah,
had to deal with that, and
Yeah.
then it took off. And by the time it distracted you enough, the beast got away.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that was that's where I'm at in the story.
Yeah,
mode
you'll
right
do
now.
a little exploring of the ravine, and then that'll open up a new hub zone type place. So,
Yeah.
which is kind of where I'm at right now too.
Yeah,
so.
story mode. But you've been doing online play more than anything else.
I've been doing a lot of like recycling, like looking for people who are doing missions that I've already done and joining them, so I can collect more parts to build a full set of armor that I need or something like that.
For the most part, I've been building my weapon.
But I have not played anything this week, so yeah, I know I got to do that too on my weapon. I did some strange things with my weapon. wasn't able to follow the path of upgrades too well to figure out how that worked, and then realized I could go back, like I could revert back and then pick a different
There's certain paths you can
a
go
different
on.
skill tree to go with. Yeah,
certain paths you can go on depending on what you got. So I've had to backtrack on some. I think I said last week my weapon of choice is the gun lance. I'm using that, so I've been getting variants of each one. The water type, the thunder type, and what I'm using now is the blazing version.
Okay.
So after I took down the Anjanath and took out another one later on, I finally got the flame sack that I needed to build it up to that level. So basically it's been buying a bunch of gun lances, bone and metal, so I can get every type. And then eventually I see the section where it says that section is under research. So there's another tree, I'm guessing, later on in the game. So I'll be doing that later on because there's plenty of monsters I haven't hunted yet. Because there's certain trees that I haven't unlocked yet. I think there's a wyvern.
Yeah.
And that one that firebombs everything when it feels a threat. I forget its name. Rathalos, I think it's called. It's
You're
a
better
flying,
with the names than I am,
yeah,
sir.
it's a flying monster that just, when in doubt, go in the air and just cook everything on the ground, you included. So I haven't fought him yet. And like I said, the wyvern. There's a wyvern that paralyzes you, I believe, that I haven't.
He's got
fought
the
yet as
electrical
well.
tail or whatever.
No, I fought him.
Okay.
There's another one.
Oh, there's another one that
I was
does
just reading. I was reading the description of this beast, and it said it had a paralyzing tail or whatnot or something like that. But the electrical one that looks like a flying squirrel or something like that. Yeah, I already took it down already.
Yeah.
So other than that, that's pretty much all I've played this week.
Were you able to play with anybody? Were you able to team up with anybody?
Like I
doing
said,
this all solo?
I was going solo until I get more familiar with.
I know, we got to get you into the
else.
squad and stuff. I think I saw you on, or maybe I did. No, I got an invite from Drunk to Dinner, but I didn't notice the invite until much later after he had already signed off.
Yeah. I should be ready to go online this week. I'm getting really familiar with the gun lance at this point, getting combinations and whatnot down. Only problem I'm really having right now is with that lock-on system.
I feel like you might have worried a little too much about your ability online. There's no griefers online. There's nobody. Everybody just goes in, does their thing, and then there's rarely any kind of communication that I've run into when I'm doing this, mostly because it teams me up with people outside of my language or anything like that. So, everybody just goes in. You're able to look at the map, and you can set your Firefly green thingies to...
Scout flies.
Yeah, your scout flies. You can set your scout flies on a player that's on the map ahead of you, and they will direct you to go in that location. You can just follow him to him. Once you get there, you're usually in the middle of the battle, and it's just go in, fight, and then when it runs off, track him down, fight him until you kill him. It's basically that. Everybody has that's the mindset that everybody has in there whenever you join one of these online games. So it's not like you have a role to play. Everybody's role is to kill the monster. So keep doing what you're doing. Do you do what you do? But I think you'll find once you get in online that you probably didn't have to prepare so much to do that. That just fighting the monster is really all that anybody asks whenever you join into a match is just help us fight the monster. That's it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Did you have any issues with like I was saying earlier, did you have any issues with the lock-on system?
I don't think so.
Like if I want to target a specific part of the beast.
Oh.
Yeah.
If there was a tutorial, if there was a message that told me how to do that, I must have forgotten it, or Yeah, I just run up as close because I'm doing. See, you've got guns.
Gun lance, yeah. Well, gun lance. It's not exactly a go from a distance and start picking shots from it. No,
I've got dual blades, man. So I got to just run up and start attacking the feet or whatever part's hitting the ground, so that I can hit it. So
well, the thing for me was like most of the times the weak spot is in the head. So when it locks on, it's like targets the chest. So I'm moving the R stick. Right stick around, trying to see if it'll move to a certain part and target it, and it won't do it. It's just locks on the chest, and that's it.
You and Drunk Degenerates need to set up a playtime together so that you guys can jump into a chat room on the PlayStation, and then go in there, and he can, because he was given all sorts of tutorials the first time I jumped in there with him and Spigot, I think, just about how some different things worked. So, or at least going over the different weapons. Definitely get up with him because he'll be able to tell you as a dual wielder or as a dual blade person. Again, I have no targeting. I just attack what's there.
Yeah.
If I can do one of those run up the side of a tree, jump off, and attack in the air, I'll try and do those to get a better critical hit for the headshot type stuff. But for the most part, I am just pulling support fire under the on the feet or at the tail, whatever's closest to the ground.
In my case, it's just finding something to climb on, jump off, and land on it. That's how I've gotten the mounting, things like that. There just happens to be something I can climb on, and while the palico is distracting it, haven't been able to do the
mount yet. We didn't. I asked you this off the air last week, but we didn't ask you on the air. What'd you name your palico?
Loomis.
Okay, yours is Loomis. I'm Jiminy Whiskers, and I don't know what Drunks is. I can't remember what he named his, but yeah. So, just
have you seen some bad ones?
No, actually, they've all been pretty good. You know, they've all been decent. The ones that I do see. I actually ran into. I was doing the exploration of the new area that you get to after you do the ravine.
Okay,
and I ran into palicos just kind of hanging out, and they joined my quest. To help me do whatever it was I was doing, which was scouting things and looking for things. So, that was kind of neat to run into just a stray palico out in the world. And then it's like, oh, hey, they became friends, and now he's going to help you search for more stuff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting that you could do that. So that's all for you, huh?
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Wish I had a lot to say, but I don't. That's about it. You know, we could cut this short and just be a 30-minute show today. No.
People wouldn't like that. Folks would riot.
Well, I mean, it's probably going to be better than what we would talk about. What I did here today was I did bring my Switch, and I put the Bayonetta 2 game in the system, and it runs fine. I thought it was going to do some install, but it never did. But it runs on the system. That's not a problem. The download code for Bayonetta 1 does not work for me.
Really? You get a reason for that or something? Or
the only thing I can guess is that it is a European code that I'm trying to redeem on a North American store.
Okay, the region lock or something like that.
Well, the game isn't. Like the game's not region locked, but the code is locked. The code that they give me is a code to access on the European Nintendo store. I'm trying to access this on the North American Nintendo store.
Okay.
What I need to do is create an account. From what I can tell, what I need to do is create an account, set it to UK, go and download the code. Then the game becomes available to everybody on my system.
Right.
All the profiles on my system regardless. So I don't have to keep signing into the UK account. So I'll probably just, that's probably what I'll do and give that a shot, see if it works.
Yeah. It's kind of like the folks who have the Japanese PSN account for when they want to play games that are over there.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as you have the account, any of your, or as long as you have the Japanese account that redeemed the game, the code, whatever it is, any person that is signed in on your account, doesn't have to be the Japanese account, it can be any of the accounts that you have on your system, are able to play the game.
Right.
So I believe that's going to be the case, and that's what I'll do as well. Not that I need a third copy of Bayonetta. I still have the 360 copy. I now have a PC copy, and now I have a Nintendo Switch copy. Although the thing about the Nintendo Switch copy, nice to have a portable Bayonetta. It's so interesting to think that, no, I'm not going to double dip or anything like that. I have no idea. Oops. I have no idea how long that person has been calling us. My face is not angled towards the phone, so I can't see it ring, by the way. Hang on, whoever's on the line there. But, it's interesting to see how much I'm willing to look at something and say, "Oh, but it's a portable version," which I've had for the Vita for quite a while. But I think there's something to be said about a full console being portable. It's the Nintendo Switch, so I'm not relegated to playing the Vita version of Uncharted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the streamlined version or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not playing the Vita version of Uncharted or the Vita version of Resogun or the Vita version of whatever it is that they release. I haven't played my Vita in a while, but when I take my Switch with me, I'm taking all the games. It doesn't matter. Like I can take every game with me that comes for the console because it is entirely portable. So when I think about getting Axiom Verge for a second time, I have it on PC, but this is fantastic to have it on something that's portable like this. Yeah. There are some benefits. There are some things that make me stop and think. Should I pick this up for this system, or should I pick it up? Should I pick this game up for the PC? Even though, especially something like Axiom Verge, where you're not really, that thing is an 8-bit based type game. It's not. You're not getting improvements buying it on PC than you are buying it on Switch. You might get access to mods or console commands or something like that on the PC version of it, tweaks that you can make. Right. But there's not much of a difference going to be said there. Now, I'm sure Bayonetta on the Switch and Bayonetta on PC, drastically different, especially since Bayonetta on the PC is completely unlocked for FPS and resolution.
Yeah, full 60.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there are some benefits to going with the way you want to go. But having a portable version of a game is kind of nice to have. So, anyway, we do need to take a break. Whoever is on the phone, I'm going to guess it's Chris. It may not be, but whoever's on the phone, hang tight, because when we come back, we will get directly to you. We're about to take a break here. I've got a theme for all the music this week. I didn't try to have a theme, but it turned into a theme. And I won't tell you what the theme is. I think it'll be relatively easy to discover. But our first game is Super Hot. It is the main menu for Super Hot, which I believe is going to be one of the games for Games with Gold next month for Xbox owners. Oh, nice. Xbox people. Nice. We'll find out about that coming up later on in the show. Plenty to talk about. We got the Burnout Paradise remake that was announced. We've got the DICE Award winners, and then I don't know if we'll go into it or not. This is obviously a very political talk radio station that we broadcast from. I usually try to keep politics out of it because we are talking about video games, but sometimes video games and politics tend to leak into each other, such as the case this week with violence in video games. So that discussion is coming up again. I really don't want to have that discussion again. I feel like that discussion has been done to death in a sense, and I think that it is...
I thought it died 10 years ago.
Right, when the Supreme Court ruled that video games like art and literature and film and all that fell under the First Amendment. I agree. But apparently it might need to be brought up again. I don't know if I want to go down that road because maybe. We'll see. We'll find out. We'll see what happens. You want to go down that road, we will go down that road, but we'll see. Anyway, here is first break. It's from Super Hot. This is the main menu music. We'll be right back with more in-game chat right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chats. I'm Scott along with RJ, just two of us this week. That music there is from a game called Cluster Truck. I don't know if you've heard of that. Have you heard of Cluster Truck?
I've heard of it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. If you're not sure what Cluster Truck is, it's fun to. It's interesting to. You have to be careful saying it.
Take it slow, Scott. Take it slow.
I know. Cluster Truck. Basically, and it's a very strange concept, but it turns out to be a very fun game. It's a bunch of trucks.
We're talking 18-wheelers?
We're talking rigs, yeah, big
yeah.
trailer rigs, trucks. And you're basically in first person, and you get plopped on top of one of these trucks, and they're flying full out, and they respond to physics. So any little bump in the road will send them kind of in, as they bump into each other, they kind of move around. So, I mean, there's a lot of physics involved, with the exception of you. You don't really have the physics applied to you. So you're on top of a truck, and you've got to jump from truck to truck to truck and stay alive until they cross the finish line. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting concept.
So it's like parkour on top of an 18-wheeler?
In a sense, yes. In a sense. You can't touch the ground. If you touch the ground, you're dead.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me. Do you remember playing Wet?
Yeah, I do.
Was there not a scene where you had to jump from top of cars in traffic, trying to avoid these assassins trying to get you?
Yeah.
So something like that.
One of my favorite levels in that game was the because it was very QTE-ish, quick time event. Yeah, you didn't really do much. There were a few times where you had to aim and shoot, but for the most part, you were
midair, from switching cars. You had to aim in midair.
You were flipping, and it was going into slow motion, and you were doing. Yeah, it was a fun. That's a fun game.
Yeah.
It didn't do very well. It didn't get a sequel.
Nope.
But I loved everything about it with the cutscenes and everything else.
I'm glad I picked that game up, but it's in my backlog. Something I just hadn't finished yet.
I had a T-shirt from that game that could not fit me whatsoever, but I had a T-shirt for that game.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back to the show. Let's go to the phones because he's been waiting for a while. Hello, Chris.
What's going on, y'all?
What's going on with you, man?
Not much. I heard y'all just got to the house, and you and RJ were talking about the Monster Hunter World. But RJ, whenever you get back home, and if you want to send me a message, and I can jump on there with you and help you train and figure out some of this other things and stuff, and hunt down these other creatures and stuff if you want to.
Yeah.
And,
that's an option, man. Yeah. Because when I look online, it's like now playing. It's like 45% of my friends list is like Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter World. It's
an interesting it's an interesting thing that happens whenever you're not playing a game and somebody else or a lot of other people are playing that game, and you're thinking, all right, let me see what the fuss is about.
Fuss is all about. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
So,
it says sometimes it backfires, but for the most part it doesn't.
Yeah, I haven't been on PlayStation in a while. I really haven't done. It's very strange. I opened up Civ 6 over the weekend. Last Sunday, I opened up Civ 6, and there was a benchmark test you could run,
right,
for the graphics and for the AI. And I ran both benchmarks just because I was like, oh, let's see how this goes. And it did its little thing, and it got done. And whenever it was finished, I was like, yeah, that's nice. And then I went down to the exit button, I hit exit, and I left. For whatever reason, I just was not into it to play anything last week. I did not play a single thing.
We understand the priorities at the time.
But it was illness, still, it was still just.
Chris, I'm gonna start dishing out guild cards and things like that, seeing squads out there and things like that. I'll get into the online aspect pretty soon.
Yeah, we can get together sometime, and you can let me. You can join my squad as well, since Scott did as well the other day. But if we can get on with Drunk sometime as well and join his group as well.
Mm-hmm.
But but other than that, I've been collecting TurboGrafx 16 games and stuff with original paper box. If any of you are you familiar with those old games like that?
Let's see, Bonk's Adventure, Keith Courage and Alpha Zones, Legendary Axe.
Yeah, you remember if you had bought those brand new, they originally came in a paper box, and then there was a CD case inside. you know, and most of the time if you see them, you know, they just have the CD case.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to collecting some, and I wanted to find some that had the original outer paper box.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably got 10 or 11 here recently on eBay, and, you know, I've seen more and more, but, yeah, I've gotten into a spurt on collecting those suckers now.
Yeah, I mean, the double packaged games.
Yeah.
Yeah, a paper box on the outside and the CD case inside. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, those are the only 3 titles I remember on there. I mean, the system is like the system. No matter how, the system can be really good on paper, but it's the games that make it, man. It's like that. Remember that Atari Lynx?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like all the specs was like really top notch of the day, but the games just weren't. The games just weren't there.
Yep.
But the TurboGrafx 16 was had a pretty good selection of games in there. I mean, like the three titles I mentioned were pretty good to my and as I remember.
Yep. Yeah, just never know what you come across, but also I've got a Japanese Famicom in the original box on its way from Japan as well, and I saw an auction for the Japanese version, complete in box of Dragon Quest 1, 2, 3, and 4 for like $64 in free shipping, and I didn't realize how small those boxes were. Those boxes are tiny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just blew my mind just looking at it. Really, is this as big as they are? And of course, the cartridges are you know, like a third of the size of the Nintendo cartridges. But sure enough, they didn't waste no space in their boxes with their products over there.
Yeah, no room, just the game itself and nothing else. I mean, manual, just the manual of the game, and that's it.
Yeah, it's
really,
just, a little plastic tray of the game, and then, you know, the manual was either on top or on the bottom, and, you know, that's pretty much it. But, yeah, there's no more than like a quarter inch around the side of the cartridge for where it fits inside the box.
Yeah, it doesn't really allow for anything extra put in there. That's it. Okay.
But, yeah, I'm going to start collecting a bunch of those, since it's kind of unique that the Japanese versions of all these old games are a lot cheaper than the American versions, and especially some that you don't have to even read Japanese. You know, you can just like shooter games like Life Force that you can just enjoy.
Yeah,
and they're dirt cheap.
They're pretty much straightforward. The games that are pretty much straightforward, what you have to do, you don't really have to read much into it. And if you do have any issues, you can always go to YouTube or online or something. That someone has something on there for you for it.
Yeah, and I found some people that wrote up translated, you know, walkthroughs of role-playing games that were on the TurboGrafx CD system.
Mm-hmm.
Told you, talk to this person, get to this level, you know, do this, and that. And I bookmarked that so whenever I decide to eventually get back into that game that I purchased, that I could enjoy it sometime down the road. But I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, but maybe so.
Yeah, I remember looking at GameFAQs.com for things like that. Some imports I bought. I see some walkthroughs someone put on there, and I would go through that way back when. They're more. It's more prevalent now.
Is GameFAQs still around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah, they are, and you know, it's nice that you can find walkthroughs that people have wrote that, you know, for the Japanese games, and explain where to go and who to talk to, and, you know, exactly.
Look at that, man! It is still around.
I still got stuff on there from '98. It's still there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't been at GameFAQs in forever, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look at this, man! That's taking me back. Interesting.
Yep.
All right. Well, we appreciate the call, Chris, as always, man.
All right, y'all have a good afternoon and enjoy this nice, cool weather we're having right now.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
I want it to go away. It's not. This is not how February's supposed to act. You know?
It's not.
Act your season, February. Just stop trying to be what you're not. Anyway,
for those not local, basically it's
we're in the 80s.
It's late February and it's in the 80s.
So it's been like this for the entire week. It's really ridiculous. Thanks for the call, Chris.
All right, see y'all.
Take care.
Yeah, it's annoying. Just stop, February. You're not April. You're not May. You're February. Stop. It's not right.
Mama Nature's not listening.
It's not. It's just, that's bad. Don't do it. It's bad. We're talking about Bayonetta. Bayonetta 2 sold fewer physical copies at launch for Nintendo Switch than it did when it arrived on the Wii U.
Okay.
It was 5th in the UK chart. It was the game's highest chart placing to date, but it was achieved with fewer physical sales.
That's a trend nowadays, isn't it? Everyone's going digital more than anything else.
It's likely a higher percentage of Switch sales came via downloads, which UK numbers company ChartTrack does not track. Bayonetta 2's physical edition still requires you to download Bayonetta 1. You only get a download code. The Bayonetta's biggest physical launch to date remains the original for the 360 and PlayStation 3 in the prime of both of those consoles' lives. The full top 10, this is just for the UK, was FIFA 18 at number 1. Number 2 was Kingdom Come Deliverance, which has now hit 1 million copies sold. Mm-hmm. That thing is on fire. And I have not gone back to play any of it either. Mm-hmm. Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 3, Monster Hunter World at number 4, and Bayonetta 2 at number 5. To round out the top 10, the UFC Sports 3 is number 6, Shadow of the Colossus 7, Call of Duty World War II number 8, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at number 9. That came out in April of last year. Yeah. It is still in the top 10. Assassin's Creed Origins at number 10.
It is Mario Kart now.
It is. You know, people out there buying Switches and, you know, hey, I'm picking up Bayonetta for my Switch and here's Mario Kart for whatever reason. So, anyway, so Burnout Paradise.
Oh, yeah.
Getting a rematch. Oh, wait. No. That comes later. Hang on. Let me do this real quick. Your games with gold lineup for Xbox Live.
Oh, okay.
If you have a gold account with Xbox Live, which is basically I think $60 a year, you get free games every month. You get 4 free games every month. This coming month, March's games with gold lineup is Trials of the Blood Dragon from March 1st to March 31st, and Super Hot from March 16th to April 15th. Mm-hmm. Trials of the Blood Dragon is it's Trials. It's the the BMX game. Yeah. Or not BMX. That's not BMX. It's dirt bikes. Yeah. Yeah, those aren't bicycles. Those are dirt bikes.
Motocross.
Motocross. Yeah. And Xbox 360 that also are backwards compatible to Xbox One. Brave, the video game, from March 1st through the 15th, and Quantum Conundrum from March 16th through the 31st. Those are your games with gold for this month. Back to Burnout Paradise, getting a remaster. I mean, there's not much for me to say about this. Yay. Look, at this point, I have played so much of that game. Mm-hmm. It is about 10 years old now. Mm-hmm. It was released in 2008.
Right.
For the 360 and the PS3. And Criterion's, this is their whatever it's called, piece de resistance or whatever.
Swan song.
It's their, it's not their swan song. Swan song would be the last thing that they did, and that is not this is not the last thing that they did.
This is the last Burnout they did.
This is the last Burnout they did because nobody has done any more Burnouts since then. So. EA, why not? Come on, people want this, and hopefully, maybe the sales of this will drive them to kind of revisit this,
Hopefully, yeah.
What this is, though, is the first EA title getting a remaster.
Mm-hmm.
They picked Burnout Paradise to be the first title they do a remaster on, which is interesting. As to why they picked it, I don't know.
But can you think of any better options? Can you think of any better games they could have picked to remaster right now?
For EA?
Yeah, off the top of your head right now.
Dead Space is one of them that I'm thinking of. And why I'm only relegating it to just Dead Space. I'm sure EA has other games. I mean, Mass Effect could get a remaster. They could start that whole thing over with, the trilogy, the original trilogy. They could do a complete remaster.
Has Dead Space, has it been 10 years, Dead Space, since 3?
Since 3?
Since 3. It was 3.
Probably not for 3.
Yeah.
Let me look that up real quick. Dead Space 3 came out on 2013, so no.
No. So,
But if you back it up to just, if you back it up to just Dead Space, that came out in 2008.
Okay.
So it is 10 years old. So, and maybe they are thinking about doing a remaster of that. Mass Effect. Let me look at Mass Effect real quick. That came out in, really? You're not going to give me any kind of, Any year on that one? It's 2007, I want to say. Nope, it was 2008.
Okay.
2007 when the first one released, because it was a Microsoft game studio. It was an exclusive
Okay.
to the Microsoft. So it came out in 2007. Then 2008 when Mass Effect 2 released. Remember, EA had bought BioWare at the time in between the two.
Yeah.
EA bought BioWare, and they're like, oh, what are they going to do? And so they issued Mass Effect 2 for both systems. And since you couldn't play the first one on PS3, they had this little thing you could do and go through and select different choices in the comic strip to get the to catch you up on the story. So then it used your saves from there to go even further. But I don't know. It's not that I was thinking of anything better that they could have done a remaster on. It just seemed interesting that they picked Burnout Paradise to be the one that they go to.
Yeah.
It's a racing game. I mean, it's a very beloved racing game, but racing games haven't really been that hot lately. Need for Speed has just been horrible as far as the releases lately. This has not been doing good for them. So for them to kind of dip into the older racing games to do a remaster on seems interesting. But it's their first one, and it's going to support 4K resolution on the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. Let's see. EA said the remaster will run natively in 1080p on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and it'll run at 4K at 60 frames per second on all platforms. 60 frames per second. I can't remember if they were always 30 or if they were always 60 to begin with. The Burnout games Criterion always had a deal where it was like, our games are locked, and I want to say they were locked at 60. They never dipped below 60 frames per second. So, but I can't remember. It is coming out on March the 16th, and it'll be $40. So I don't necessarily know if it looks. I'm not sure how it looks. It's being developed by a different company. I think Stellar is the name of the company that's doing the development on it, and it will include almost all previously released downloadable content. The only piece of content that they are not giving you access to is the Time Savers pack, and it was something you could buy that would unlock all the cars, so you wouldn't have to play through the game to unlock them. You could just unlock them right there. They're not putting that in there. But they are putting. I mean, everything else is in there.
We got microtransactions there?
No, there are no microtransactions.
Okay.
No, they're just not putting the Time Savers pack in.
Okay.
It's not going to be something you can purchase to do. They're just not including it. So you will get the toy cars. You will get the party pack where it offered some more challenges for you and everybody else who had teamed up in the game for you guys to play with. I think it's 8 players online.
Okay.
So that'll support that as well. The bikes, the motorcycles, when they put that in there. The different boost packs that they unlocked that had more cars with boost. The legendary cars that were knockoffs of film cars. Yeah. They couldn't actually be what they were because of licensing, but they were very close. Yeah. And I can't. What were the cars? I know the DeLorean was one of them, because you could like click on the thumbstick and it would the wheels would retract and it would hover. Yeah. And then when you boost, it leaves a fire trail. Yeah. So that was always fun to do. But I think the Ghostbusters ambulance was in there as well.
So Ecto 1.
Yeah, Ecto 1. I think the General Lee was part of it too.
I was about to say the General Lee.
I think the General Lee, but I can't remember if the Knight Rider car was in there. I can't remember if that was in there or not.
Any Starsky and Hutch's car?
No. It was only, I want to say it was 4 or 5.
Okay.
And there wasn't very many of the legendary, what they called them. And the Big Surf Island download will be available as well, which was a whole nother section of the game that they released, which was an amazing thing that Burnout Paradise did at the time. You have to, for those of you who might not be familiar, I mean, this was 10 years ago, but they supported this with, I think this was all free DLC. This was all free DLC that they were supporting. I want to say it was all free DLC. The Time Savers pack, they had stuff like that you could, but that was stuff you had to buy. Like if you wanted to unlock all the cars, you had to buy it. Otherwise, you could do it regularly and just play the game and unlock them. But for the most part, I want to say that all this stuff that they released was completely free at the time. So, I mean, they really supported their game. And it was nice to see. And you really don't see much of that anymore unless you buy a season pass. Season pass wasn't a thing in 2008 for them to offer.
That's right. Yeah.
So you just got the content when they released it. Interestingly enough, there will be a PC release of this remaster as well, and PC players never got Big Surf Island.
Really?
Yeah, it never released for PC.
Any reason why that was? I mean,
I don't remember, but it will be released now.
Okay.
So I will be probably picking this up twice.
Yeah.
I will get a version for the PlayStation 4 most likely, and I will get a PC version.
Okay.
I have a great, I love my rig for my PC, and it's got my monitors, 1440 and that sort of thing. So I'm perfectly fine. I have no problem with double dipping on a Burnout game.
Yeah.
Trust me.
That's one of your favorite titles.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Not just Paradise, but just franchises. Burnout is one of my favorite franchises. It really is. It's something that I love. One of the highlights of me doing this whole thing that I get to do was visiting Guildford.
studios.
Guildford.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Guildford, England. Guildford in the UK, whatever.
Yeah.
I got to visit their studios. And their studios are right next to a casino, which was interesting, because it's Guildford. It's like this little. It starts off in this little bitty. It's like a Main Street type town type thing,
Right.
You're coming down Main Street, and it's like a little drugstore and a Walgreens and a restaurant and this nice thing, and then there's this gaudy casino. And then there's, right next to it, almost feeling out of place, you see the two glass doors with the EA logo on them, and then you see a big escalator that goes up top, and there it is. That's Criterion Studios right there. You go inside, and they have a store. Apparently, every video game developer has a store inside their offices, which is strange. But they have a store where you can go and buy games or buy. I guess for people who do visit, you can go and buy a scarf that says Criterion or EA.
Yeah.
Most of it was EA branded, very little Criterion branded in the store. So you go in, you go upstairs, and there's the front desk where you check in, and nothing about it really said Criterion Studios when you're in there, until you got more to where the devs just kind of hang out and kind of break when they're on break or whatever.
Right.
There is half of a car smashed to bits, made to look like it slammed into a wall.
Yeah.
So there's that, and there's your first inclination that I'm at the Burnout Studios. That's it. So I was there for Need for Speed, so maybe they had completely changed everything of what that place was going to look like. I don't know, to kind of get the Burnout feel out of there.
Yeah.
But that's where I got my game copy autographed.
Yeah. Still got it framed on the wall, right?
It's not framed, but it is hanging up on the wall.
Okay.
Yes, it's not framed. But it sits on top of another autographed copy of Burnout 3 Takedown that I have that is sort of in like a shadow box frame type thing, and it sits up there. So, yeah, big fan. We need to take another break. When we come back, we'll talk about the DICE Awards. We've got... there's a game on Steam that released, and I was all excited because it's a puzzle game, and they said, hey, the first person that finishes, we'll give you 1 Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin was worth about $9,000. If you're the first person to beat this puzzle game, I want to talk about that because I read reviews after it released. I was really interested in it. Then I read the reviews and I was like, okay, not that great. Anyway, we'll come right back. We're going to go out with music from the game called Fury, F-U-R-I. The name of this track is 624. Like either 6:24 at night or in the morning, or it's 6 minutes and 24 seconds, whatever. 6:24. It is not 6 minutes and 24 seconds long. It's only about 4 minutes. Not that I'm playing the whole thing, but it's just called 6:24. So anyway, we'll be back with more in-game chat right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. Scott, along with RJ. One of those names. It doesn't matter. I don't care. This is music from Crypt of the Necrodancer. Disco Descent is the name of this track.
Yeah. That was another one that was on. I think it was off of free on PSN once.
It may have been.
Yeah, I think it was a while back.
It might have been. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the phones. Multile is on the line with us. Hey, man.
Oh, ahoy. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good. Doing all right. How are you?
So far, so good. I have been better. I'm recovering from a nasty cold, but I suppose they're all nasty when you get above 18, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I'm glad you're getting over it. I guess you haven't played much either, huh?
I played a little. I did my usual of playing a little bit of Overwatch and played a little bit more of just some random games that you don't have to, invest too much time into.
Yeah.
But nothing to really write home about. Mm. But I'm still fascinated with this theme that you've been talking about with the games, the game songs. I'm going to put in another potential answer, or maybe just an outright shoot down. Is it games that have been ported to the Switch recently?
No. Yeah, you're thinking way too hard.
I guess I am. No, because it was like I knew Fury was moved to the Switch, and I guess that fell flat on its face.
I don't think Super Hot is on the Switch.
Oh, that would be surprising. I guess. Yeah.
I don't think it is, but no, it's not. It's not. I might start doing this. I might try to find I didn't think about this last night until I got about 4 songs in, and I realized, oh, okay. I kind of like this. I'll see what else I can find, and so and I tried to kind of round it out. I think some of it. Honestly, here I'll go ahead and tell you, there's no real contest here. Nobody's winning anything, but
oh no, of course
they're all very synthesizer-ish. They're all very electronic rather than orchestral type compositions and stuff. Yeah. It's all very synth, beat, dancey type things.
Techno.
Yeah. So
the techno rhythm. Yeah.
That's all the that's the whole running theme.
Oh, okay.
I know. It has nothing to do with the games that they are.
You should have left it. You should have left it for another break. It's got people gasping.
No. I will actually start doing this and actually put thought into it rather than just four songs in think, hey, I like this. I like the sound of these songs. Let me see what else I can find that kind of sounds like that. I'll actually try and do that as a theme thing for next week. I'll try and come up with a theme. Something that connects through all the tracks, whether it be the sound, whether it be that they're all on Switch, whether that they're being ported to Switch. Maybe so far we've recognized that I think most of these have shown up in the PS Plus free games on a lot of these. Yeah. So nice. Inadvertently, I picked other themes that I had no idea connected these things. But no, they're just all techno-y. I got Hotline Miami 2 coming up.
Nice.
So yeah, just a real big synth feel. It started with the song that we're going to play going into the next break, which was a new game from the folks who did FTL, called Into the Breach. So that's the name of the game. So, but that's coming up a little bit later. What else has been going on? Anything else? Or you just wanted to call in and guess the theme?
Oh no, I was popping in as well to discuss all the bits that you brought up before the past 2 breaks. So
yeah,
we got the big heavy hitter topic, and then we've got all the extra bits as well. With the
right. I have this
Bitcoin business.
Yeah, I have this pulled up here for the Bitcoin thing. It was a puzzle game that comes out on Steam. It came out this week, and it was called Monte Crypto: The Bitcoin Enigma. And it launched for $2 on Steam. On the 20th of this month, the players must traverse a maze in first person and solve 24 different puzzles. The first player to finish all of the puzzles will receive 1 Bitcoin worth around $9,800. You can work with others to solve these puzzles. You can leave hints and clues behind for other players, or you can lead them down dead ends if you choose. The developers of the game want to remain anonymous until a winner is crowned. And they're trying to keep our identities secret for now, said in a press release, but we can say we are a group of game developers and that we had a crazy idea for a game. Jim Rose cites the infamous real-life On the Trail of the Golden Owl treasure hunt as a source of inspiration for Monte Crypto. On the Trail of the Golden Owl is a French treasure hunting book published in 1993. Those who can unlock its clues and mysteries would find a buried golden owl, but has remained unsolved all these years later. So I went to Steam whenever this thing released. I put it on my wish list because I was like, it sounds like a lot of fun. So I put it on my wish list, and then after it released, I went to Steam and started reading a bunch of the reviews. Now, they could be reviews trying to dissuade people from buying the game, but they all sound legitimate in saying that this thing is, it's not a crap game, but the rules that they have put in place make it very difficult.
So are they, do you feel like they're sort of using the old point-and-click moon logic sort of thing?
Well, you're on a timer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be something like The Room, type of thing, except, you're leaving behind Dark Souls, imprints in the ground.
There's 24 different puzzles, and I think you have an hour to solve them. Now, if you get to puzzle 15 and the timer runs out, you have to start back at puzzle number 1.
Oh, no wonder they're so confident about, handing out, what is it, $10,000 or whatever it is?
But it's a maze as well, so it's not necessarily... it's a maze that has 24 different puzzles inside of it. So you have to spend time traversing the maze first, finding these puzzles within the maze, and then solving them, and you have 1 hour to do it. I think around an hour. You have a time limit. So, according to the reviews on Steam.
So you didn't pick it up then?
No, I did not buy it.
But it's only $2. Come on, that'll add on to your 700 or whatever games it is.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
The legendary backlog. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm looking at the comments here. This is on an IGN article, and I'm looking on the comments to see if there's any more mention about. See if anybody has reviews of it, and it basically is just people talking about Bitcoin, for the most part.
Well, I was trying to bring up a video that this reminded me of, which is what they were citing in the article there. Of the Golden Owl treasure.
Oh, yeah.
Which was reminding me about a guy called Ashens on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And he did a presentation. I don't want to... I want to say TED Talk, but it's not, it's not really a TED Talk. It is literally like a presentation to, a PowerPoint presentation to a bunch of people, which TED Talk seems to veer away from quite a bit.
Yeah.
But... Ashens, the guy, went through a game that I'm nearly sure it's this. If it's not this, it is so similar. It's quite impressive, to be honest, about the scandal and the business about making this golden bird of some sort. If it's not an owl, it's gonna, I'll be, it's something like that, like an eagle maybe, encrusted with these jewels worth a lot of money, and they had sent out a book that you were expected to go through, solve all these puzzles, and then find the bird, and then with all this money. And then after this, they released a game to do something similar, where you had to solve the puzzles within the game, and the game is broken. And they released another game do the same thing, and it was broken as well, and it was a horrible mess. And basically, by our standards, it'd be like a Kickstarter fail sort of thing, but because they used all the same mediums that we are natural to back in the day, it just seemed outlandish and unreal that someone would be going to such lengths, to try and just get a bit of money off you. But I'm trying to find the video. I can't find the video at the moment. I've been searching through his backlog, and it's hard to find. What were you going to say?
Oh, well, I'm looking here. I found the reviews. This game was advertised as extremely difficult. I bought it to challenge my mind. However, the difficulty presented does not lie in the puzzles, which are laughably easy, but rather in the 1-hour time limit to navigate a 50 by 50 miles maze that sports repeating features ad nauseum. Even at top speed, one cannot hope to accomplish to scour even the tiniest part of it. The map feature resets after every hour, and the maze doesn't even fit the map in the slightest. The enigmas are wishy-washy blabbering with more interpretations than people wander the earth. Actual puzzles are absent. The maze has a few doors which ask trivial questions, and the enigma rooms just have a panel of unindicative scrolling text which disguises itself as clever prose, but in reality is blabbering about nothing. It speaks volumes when the height of entertainment in a game is a screen glitching effect after picking up a pocket watch. This game tries to cash in on the Bitcoin trend by promising a Bitcoin to the first person to complete it. This, however, is nothing but a carrot on a stick, made to lead people into buying this atrocious nothingness of a game. It's reflecting badly upon Valve to support such a shady business, and I highly recommend to cease supporting and selling it. This product isn't downright illegal, but it's ethically questionable. It's just a social experiment, isn't an excuse for baiting people into paying for this garbage. But you get a Bitcoin if you finish first isn't an excuse for it either. Somebody said this is less about puzzling and more about a big terrible maze. I got to this one part where the puzzle was just an invisible platforming challenge, and it was then that I noticed the game had a timer. I spent a half hour in there, and the timer ran out and sent me back to the beginning. You get a map that draws itself out when you go through the maze, but it has no pointer to tell you where you are on that map. It is no fun. I would compete for the prize if it was at least a little bit enjoyable. So, yeah.
I think that had maybe a
but it's what?
game.
Yeah, it's $1.19.
Yeah, it's like pop your lotto ticket in and have a go.
Yeah,
are you skilled enough? It's a carnival sort of challenge.
I actually don't mind. If I could turn the timer off, if there was a way for me to opt out of winning the Bitcoin, say
yeah.
Opt me out of this. That way, it takes away the timer, and I can just play the game. So let's say somebody does solve this thing, and they get the Bitcoin. Well, does that mean I can't play your game? Yeah. Can you remove the timer after that, so that I can enjoy the game that you built and solve the puzzles and figure out the maze?
That'd be nice. But it was released 4 days ago. If we don't start seeing winners soon, I bet you any money that you would start seeing videos of people first complaining about it and then starting to actually break down the code and see what the puzzles are, and then maybe doing a speed run, using a computer to see how fast it can go. It literally just, the name escaped my brain there for a second.
Monte Crypto.
No. I'm sorry. It's a speedrunning term where they use a computer. I think No, it's went out of my head.
Okay.
So they use a computer to simulate every perfect move.
Oh.
And then to actually properly time out a game. That's where a problem that happened a couple of weeks ago about people losing their Guinness World Records and such, because they were proven that they just couldn't happen at all. Tool assisted. Thank you, STM Fuller. I know that's not exactly what I was looking for.
Tool assisted speed runs. Yes.
That is exactly the other name for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And yeah, no, it's great to watch those as well. And I do recommend anyone that is interested to go watch Games Done Quick. It's a good channel that has a lot of accumulated stuff.
Hang on. Who did this? STM Fuller. He bought me a copy.
Hey!
I just got an email saying, "Hey, you just been gifted a game." So yeah, I now have Monte Crypto.
We're expecting reports from you on both. What is it? Pony Island and this game here.
I know. And you know what else I got this past week? I got the new pinball table for Pinball FX 3.
Well, then get to work.
I know.
This is your Sunday. Completely packed out. Forget anything else you're doing.
Yeah, forget all that stuff. Whatever. That's. I know. I get it. And at least Monte Crypto has a timer on it, so at least I can only basically play it for an hour before I have to start over.
Play it once and be like, well, I didn't get very far, so I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you, STM Folder, for gifting me the game. And thank you, Multa, for calling in as well. What else did you want to go over? Something else? If you want to hang on through the break, or what?
Oh, I'll hang on through the break until if you get another caller. I'm happy enough to
if we get another caller. Do you hear that, RJ? If we get another caller,
I heard it. Yeah.
Oh God, we love you. That doesn't happen.
I just blow out a proportion there, Scott. All right, okay.
No, nobody. Nobody. We get Chris that calls in, and then you call in sometimes.
I'll get through the. We went through the easy topic, and if a hard topic comes up, I'm here to be.
Yeah, I do want to run over I do want to run across the Dice Award winners. That'll just take a little bit of time just to see who won. I put a lot of. I don't want to say weight into them, but I put a little bit more respect into the Dice Awards than I do into the Video Game Awards. So the Dice Awards and the BAFTAs that recognize video games as a medium in their awards. So video game writing and everything, BAFTAs do that as well. So the Dice, because they're developers, and the BAFTAs, just because they have that recognition on writing and everything else in video games, I put a little bit more weight into those than I do, best game powered by Do from from the Video Game Awards.
Yeah.
That happen in December. So
those categories.
I know, yeah, horrible. So yeah, I do want to go over some of those. So hang on, Multal, okay?
100%. See you after the break.
All right, so we're going to take a break. We'll come back with Multal after this. Going into music now. See, you can try and listen to the theme. This was the first track that I downloaded last night to start it, and so when I went to the YouTube page to download this, I saw a link for Fury, and I clicked on that, and then it just sort of started snowballing into like, hey, this music sounds great. This one, I'm afraid, will probably not sound like all the others. But it did start the path. Into the Breach, I believe, came out this week. It's a new game from the folks who did FTL. It is a isometric strategy type game where you see the enemies move first before they actually move. You know what they're going to do in the next turn, and you have to play defense for that before their turn happens. So you know what they're going to do, and you have to defend against it. It's sort of a reverse kind of turn-based strategy type game, but you know what the enemy's going to do, which you would think, doesn't that take the fun out of it? No, there's strategy involved. But anyway, it's called Into the Breach. This is the combat music for that game. We'll be back with more in-game chat after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chats with Scott and RJ. I have a feeling that Matt would have enjoyed the music choices for some reason. I think he would have liked some of these. Anyway, this music is from a game called Party Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one where you go to a party and kill everybody.
Yeah.
Without being noticed.
Noisy kids at a party, you try to get some sleep, so...
No, you're a serial killer, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it
you're
was something else then.
No. You're a serial killer, and you go to these parties, and you secretly... the whole point is to try and kill everybody at the party, even the DJ.
Yeah.
Without getting caught.
Yeah.
And...
so you save the DJ for last, because everybody knows the music
Yes.
stops.
Yeah. The DJ also does not notice people dying on the dance floor and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's busy. He's busy on the turntable.
Right. He doesn't notice any of that stuff, whereas everybody else makes those notices. So it's very strategic in the way that you have to do it.
Strategic serial killing.
In a sense, yes. In a sense, yes, it is. But it's all done in the 8-bit style. It's not some kind of realistic murder sim type thing, whatever. But,
right.
But yeah, that's 2 games that we featured that came from the Tiny Build folks.
Mm-hmm.
Party Hard and Cluster Truck, both on there.
Yeah.
So, Moltal's back on the phone with us. Hey, man.
Ahoy, hoy.
Yeah, so they're all kind of synthesizers and yeah, that's where the theme was going.
Totally gnarly from the 80s.
Yes, there you are. Let's go over the DICE Awards real quick here. Outstanding Achievement in Animation. I can give you one guess who won that one. That would go to Cuphead.
Got to finish that one.
We had an odd one there, like a runner-up of For Honor.
For Honor was in there. Hellblade was in there. Horizon Zero Dawn and Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. But Cuphead wins Outstanding Achievement in Animation.
100% on that. But I'm wondering why For Honor was in there. It had broken animation. Its animation... Oh, I guess the animation was good, but the people that were stitching it together had a bit of a flummox.
Yeah, not so great.
Yeah, when I played...
But, the small things, I guess.
When I played For Honor, the animation really didn't stand out to me, to be honest with you. I mean, the brief time we played it.
Well, the brief time we played it, the connection was the problem. We had horrible connections where, you'd teleport across the map, or there was just there was some horrible things about For Honor. I hope they fixed it, but I have no desire to go back to it. Outstanding Achievement in Art Direction. Again, let's go to Cuphead for that one. Basically, if you got any kind of technical nomination and you were up against Cuphead, you were not going to win. Outstanding Achievement in Character went to Hellblade.
Good job, by the way.
Senua's Sacrifice. Yeah, for Senua, I guess, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Oh, it was Senua.
Maybe it is, dude. You know me in pronunciations.
I'm not going to attempt it. I like RJ's pronunciation, but no way. I'm not going to attempt that.
Outstanding Achievement in Original Music Composition. Cuphead wins that one. I would agree with it on there. I don't know that Cuphead lost anything it was nominated for, to be honest with you. Outstanding Achievement in Sound Design. Cuphead was not nominated, but Super Mario Odyssey was, and it won. Mm-hmm. Outstanding Achievement in Story. Horizon Zero Dawn, which I need to finish that. I need to play that some more.
We've all got that game that we shouldn't be having.
I know, but I got to a part that I just kept playing over. It kept frustrating me, and I was.
Look, at least you started that one. I've got Near Automata, and I had never even started that thing. Oh man! Yet.
Outstanding Technical Achievement: Horizon Zero Dawn. Cuphead. Oh, here we go. Action Game of the Year. Cuphead was nominated but did not win. Mm-hmm. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds won that one. Adventure Game of the Year. I kind of don't agree with the Action Game of the Year. Call of Duty World War II.
Again, this is all collaborated opinion, sort of consensus by people that run DICE. So it's all opinions anyway.
Oh no, of course it is. Mm-hmm. But Wolf 2 was nominated, and I'm glad it did not win, because that is not Destiny 2. I'm kind of glad that didn't win. Call of Duty World War II. I never played. I have no idea. Cuphead and PlayerUnknown's Battleground. So sure. Adventure Game of the Year went to Breath of the Wild. That's Nintendo. Sure. Nintendo had a fantastic year. Yeah. Family Game of the Year went to Snipper Clips. Also,
that is good fun frustration.
Oh, okay. Fighting Game of the Year went to Injustice 2.
Yep.
Racing Game of the Year, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Rage-inducing.
Yeah. Role-playing Game of the Year went to Nier Automata. Sports Game of the Year went to FIFA 18.
Soccer Worldwide.
Oh, look, everybody's golf is there.
Yeah, Everybody's Golf was nominated for that one. Golf Clash was nominated for that one. MLB The Show 17 and Madden 18, but FIFA won that one out, of course. Strategy Simulation Game of the Year, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Again, a Nintendo title, winning that one. Immersive Reality Technical Achievement, Lone Echo and Echo Arena.
I think this is them merging VR, AR.
No, that's all VR. That's all VR because Robo Recall, Star Trek Bridge Crew, The Invisible Hours, and Wilson's Heart. By the way, Wilson's Heart, Twisted Pixel.
Oh, okay.
Twisted Pixel hadn't done a game in forever.
And yes, I remember the advert for that as well.
Yeah, and then they come out with Wilson's Heart out of nowhere. It's a VR game in black and white, and it's a little horror-y ish, whatever. Horror.
Scary, Scott.
Yeah, scary is better. I should do scary.
Yes.
Hoary. It's a little hoary. I made up a word, and I kind of like it. Immersive Reality Game of the Year. Lone Echo won that one as well. Psychonauts was nominated. Robo Recall. Space Pirate Trainer. And Wilson's Heart, again, nominated, which makes me think I kind of want to play it, even though it didn't win. It got nominated. The Dice Sprite Award. This is not for the drink, as we looked it up. Yeah. It's the, what'd you say?
Basically, who did the most with the least resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Snipperclips won that one.
Mm-hmm.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah. Handheld Game of the Year went to Metroid, Samus Returns. I would agree on that one. I haven't played it, but I would agree with that. Mobile Game of the Year, Fire Emblem Heroes. Sure, whatever. I don't play mobile games. Outstanding Achievement in Online Gameplay, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Okay.
No. Just giving them the gold because they're giving the gold for the amount of players. Their handling of the amount of players that they have is awful. From like complete cheat and the servers going down and latency and the way just a lot of different small and also big things come together. And I feel like they don't provide a decent service, and they are now out of. I feel like all these complaints can be leveled at them because they are now fully released as well. They're not an alpha anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And if a game released like that, like remember when what was it? Tekken. What was it? Tekken. Sorry, Street Fighter. When the last Street Fighter got released, and
it was broken.
Abysmal. Yeah, it was just broken every which way. PlayerUnknown's had PlayerUnknown's had alpha and all the way like, oh, we're just an indie team, but we have all this money. Yeah, we've been held to a different standard, and I feel like if you're getting put into this category, you need to be held to the same standards as all the rest of them in this category. Like, as much as everyone sort of deflated on Destiny 2 after a while, it technically had a better time. Fortnite also, I didn't hear as many bad complaints as I did.
Yeah, Fortnite was nominated,
PUBG,
and honestly, I think Fortnite is if it's not nipping on the heels of PlayerUnknown's, it's neck and neck.
Again, it's not necessarily saying that it's a bad game either. I'm literally going to play it after this podcast, but it doesn't. I don't think it deserves the. Again, it's all opinions, of course.
And it's all opinions, but I'm actually really impressed with Fortnite. I really thought PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I really thought that was just going to be the Minecraft of the battle royale type situation. I really thought
you thought it was like one and done.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be the one that you're going to have imitators galore, but nobody will ever beat it. And then Fortnite comes out, and I really thought. You're trying to do this thing, but you're not going to be able to. I mean, come on. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, they got that thing locked. And then Fortnite gets a good chunk of the pie on this thing with, and I want to say top-of-mindness type thing. Fortnite, it's no longer considered PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds Kingdom anymore. It's Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. They're sort of neck and neck in the zeitgeist or the thought spectrum, I guess, what you're saying. It's not just one thing.
And I got to be honest, that I see that only being a good thing as well.
Oh no, it's a good thing. I don't have any problem with that at all. I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah, we don't want a COD happening and then them running themselves into the dirt without any innovation.
Exactly. Yeah. Outstanding achievement in game design, Breath of the Wild. Outstanding achievement in game direction, Breath of the Wild. Game of the year, another one Cuphead was nominated for but lost, was Breath of the Wild. Nintendo took home a lot of awards for this. It has been a fantastic year for Nintendo. After having abysmal years during the Wii U days.
Pleasing to see. And you know what? If they had got that Breath of the Wild out earlier for the Wii U, it could have been a different story for them with the Switch and everything. But you know what? I'm pleased the way it turned out anyway, because I own a Switch now because of how good the console is. And maybe they wouldn't have made it so good if they had such a bad Wii U turnover sort of thing.
Yeah. Maybe they need to hit rock bottom before they could climb out of it, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe they're the company that has to feel the hammer or feel the the sand rock at the bottom and be like, oh, this is where we can go. We need to jump back up again. Where's our roots? We're a toy company. We can make proper toys and things that people enjoy playing and then bounce right back up again for a wee while. Make all the money and keep ticking over for a couple of years.
Yeah. So those are your DICE awards. Like I said, I put a little bit more weight into the DICE and the BAFTA awards, only for how they're how they're selected, that sort of thing, how they go through that whole situation. So I put a little bit more weight into those. Anyway, that's it, and we've got about 10 minutes left. You wanna hit this topic here? You wanna hit the elephant in the room? I guess you could say.
Sure, I think you might as well talk about it.
Honestly, I could go through on a timeline. Honestly, I could go back to old shows. I could find timelines where this whole topic of video game violence has come up, and I could find our old shows where we've talked about it because we brought it up many times, and basically regurgitate that because we're going to say the same thing over and over and over again, which is no, it has no effect. No, the whole the situation with the school shooting has brought in a lot of conversation about guns, violence, that sort of thing, and kids and youth and teens and everything else. Seeing access to those type of things, I guess. And the president said, "I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's thoughts. We have to do something about maybe what they're seeing and how they're seeing it, and also video games." Now, he is not the only politician who's talked about this. There's been plenty of others who have given interviews in which they pointed to violent video games as a factor in these things. And every time one of these things happens, and it doesn't even have to be a school shooting, it can be even just a plot for a bombing or anything like that. Any time a kid is involved in anything like this, people look at video games. They look at video games, they look at movies, they look at TV shows, they just look at the content that I guess they are devouring and see they're trying to find answers for why.
Yeah. Also see incidents where
you want an easy way. You want an easy way to say why. You want one answer to point at and say, that's the problem, let's fix that one problem. When people are infinitely complex, and they even may have had just one reason going in, but that wasn't the path that led them on to all the other bits and pieces as well. And to just blame, for example, as we were talking about games, to just blame that one thing is very upsetting as well. When we know that that's not what happens. We've got meta-analysis that side more often than not in the side of it doesn't do anything. I've got a meta-analysis here from 2007, and that's after the fact of quite a lot of this big hubbub that happened, 10, 12, 14 years ago or whatever.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And it's also saying that, it doesn't lead to aggressive behavior after the fact. It's not pulling yourself out of the game, but there are aspects that sort of hold in your mind, but that's not a contribution to aggressive behavior. Yeah. And also it's also adding to good things like cognition in in your 3D space, and you can even get better at like tactile function and things like that. So it's a wide ranging topic, and it's always being explored, like everything with these analyses. So it's a shame when something so tragic just tries to lump in. Like I remember hearing someone like lumping in all the old goldies that were happening before games even were released, of music and TV and movies as well.
I know, yeah.
They were all being lumped in. It wasn't just games. Even before games were released, we were hearing about all these, oh, the new trend in music is happening, or oh, look at that TV, or oh, look at those movies. It's a tired argument, and it's meant to deflect from things that are happening at the moment, or meant to deflect from people looking at things empathetically and seriously of, how can we resolve an issue?
Yeah, I was reading an article. It was either done, and I apologize that I cannot remember it. I really should have saved this article when I was reading it. It was either done by the Wall Street Journal, or maybe it may have been an Ars Technica article, I think. They looked at the revenue of video games in different countries and that sort of thing, to see if, because we have more people playing video games, do we have more shootings, violent attacks, violent acts, that sort of thing. And obviously none of it correlated. Right. None of it at all correlated. You looked at there were places that had very, very low revenue in game sales, but had a high amount of gun violence statistics and things like that. A massive amount, more than what the U.S. had, as far as in relation to what the revenue was for video game sales. And they looked at it at a bunch of different. God, I need to go back and find this article. They looked at it from a bunch of different viewpoints, not just one single chart of revenue versus violence. They looked at revenue and then gun sales. They looked at what was the other? There was a couple of other things that they looked at as far as something that could correlate between video games and gun violence, and maybe not even gun violence. It might have been some other thing that they were relating it to, but it was none of it matched, is what I'm saying. None of it showed that there was any correlation between the amount of video games sold each year and the amount of violent acts that takes place in a year, compared to other countries that had lower amounts of video game sales. So I don't believe it's there either. I'm kind of with you in just the sense that this is not. I'll tell you a story that James told us once. He was working at a GameStop, and I've told this story before. He was, I can't remember what game it was, probably a GTA game that he was selling. And when you're an employee there, you kind of have to go by the rules. And some kid comes up and wants to buy an M-rated game. It's like, hey, I can't sell this to you. Do you have your parents? They go out to the car and they get their parents to come in and whatever. So the parent comes in to buy the game, and she's in there with her kid, and he tells the parent something to the effect of, "This is an M-rated game. It's got a lot of violence and stuff like that." And she's like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." And then he also says something like, "It's also got naked women in it too," and that completely changed the conversation. Yeah, I was like, "What?"
I think it was GTA.
What are you trying? Yeah. What are you trying to buy? And did not let the kid buy the game. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that has any relation to what we're talking about here, but it is interesting to see that. Yeah, no problem. Naked ladies. Oh no, can't have that. Mm. Can't have that.
I think it was the.
Which, you know what? That's another thing to look at.
Oh, that's a whole discussion onto itself.
Right. Well, I mean, it is. I mean,
definitely love to have.
Yeah,
that.
Obviously, then you're going to the parents' side of things to know what their kids are playing, to know what their kids are watching, to know what their kids are doing, and to do your job as
what people find outrageous within certain mediums.
Yeah.
Why is it that you can look at a naked behind on TV, but when it's 3D animated, that becomes oh no, definitely not. Or in like that same thing inversely with weapons or anything like that.
No, I totally get you on that. Is that did you find the article?
I just found a graph showing comparing video game spending to gun violence that was done by the University of Washington. Now, you've got on the far, on one extreme, you've got not a lot of video game buying, so it looks to be about less than $3 billion, but more than 40,000 deaths is Brazil, which is obviously incredibly upsetting.
Yeah, Brazil has 40,000 deaths by firearm violence in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yet they're at maybe a 3 million video game revenue for 3 billion, not 3 million, 3 billion.
Yeah, billion.
And the U.S. is sitting somewhere around $26 billion in video game revenue with only about 11,000. Yeah.
They're the second biggest. And everyone else is clumped around the X and Y axis, near the, between 7 billion and 20,000.
It must have been the Washington Post that did this article. And there was, they had a bunch of other graphs on it too. They had a bunch of other.
Yeah, but on top of that, it was University of Washington and Newzoo's Global Games Market Report. It's not just the outlet, it's university doing it as well.
Yeah, I get it. It was interesting to read because I'd never seen it charted like that. To take
hard to look at, to be honest.
Huh?
Hard to look at.
It is to see a number that high.
I suppose this is the thing you need to be looking at when you're already being upset by the news. You need to figure out what's going on.
I know. It's just one of those things whenever video games rolls around, when video game violence rolls around or movie violence or I don't know, whatever they want to clump into it as like, let's blame it on something that isn't us. Let's blame it on something that isn't our policies. Let's blame it on something that isn't our laws that need to change. Instead of let's make them change it instead of us. Let's blame the MPAA. Let's blame the RIAA. Let's blame whatever the video games are. RIAA is the recording industry. The MPAA is the motion pictures.
ESRB.
And, the ESRB, maybe. I don't know who it would be. But
there's the ESLA as well.
Let's get them to change their rules. Oh God, we are almost out of time. Holy crap! I didn't realize where we were.
Apologies.
We should have started this discussion earlier. I'm so sorry, Multal. We got to run, man.
Not a problem.
All right. I'll talk to you. We'll talk to you later, man. We got to go. That is it for the show. I feel so bad. I would love to have gone. I don't know that we were going much further with that conversation, honestly. So, but yeah, thanks so much for everybody joining us in the chat room, as well as everybody listening on the stream and on the radio. Thanks to everybody who grabs us each week from iTunes. All that stuff that we have in there. Just thank you so much for watching. I don't want to take up too much time. Have a great week, and we will see you next Saturday. Music from Hotline Miami 2. This track is called Dust. Bye. Have a good week.